Well, the heated Florida U.S. Senate race is going into the final stretch, and both candidates recently made stops in the Bay Area, urging people to vote early. News Channel 8's political reporter Ty Russell joins us live in studio today.
And Stacey, this has also been a pretty expensive race. Senator Rick Scott and former Congresswoman Debbie Mucarsel-Powell have raised a combined $70 million. And if you haven't noticed by now, the gloves have been off. In a campaign attack ad,
Rick Scott is a thief.
Un ladrón.
He stole from seniors.
Former Congresswoman Debbie Mucarsel-Powell brings up a decades-old Medicare and Medicaid fraud investigation that resulted in $1.7 billion in fines from the time Senator Rick Scott ran a hospital company.
Congresswoman Debbie Mucarsel-Powell has a silly socialist plan for the border.
In this attack ad, Senator Rick Scott goes into Mucarsel-Powell's voting history during her one term in the House when it comes to aid for migrants. But the heated back and forth carries over into interviews as well. Both were in the Bay Area last week.
My opponent's silly. She's a silly socialist. She's not serious about anything. She lies about everything.
He has accused you of being a socialist and a radical leftist. How do you respond to those accusations?
It's typical of someone that is just, again, running scared. He is the least bipartisan member in the Senate.
When it comes to the Senate, Scott hopes to replace Leader Mitch McConnell if reelected by Floridians. USF political science professor J. Edwin Benton says that's a plus for Floridians if he wins that position in the chamber.
He could steer legislation that would be positive policy toward Florida.
But Benton says if Mucarsel-Powell wins the election, Democrats will make sure they keep the Sunshine State in mind.
They would do everything in their power to appoint her to committees where she could be influential to help Floridians.
And even at the 11th hour, don't expect both candidates to face each other on the debate stage. So coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, the responses from Scott and Mucarsel-Powell on why they never went head-to-head. I'm Ty Russell, 8 on your side.